Hi there, my name's Tom Amery. I'm from the Watercress Company. I'm here today to give you a little bit of an insight to some of the insects that we find within watercress beds. The beds behind me are known as the watercress beds. We've been harvesting all summer now, and the crop behind me is something that was, a crop that was planted probably about 2 months ago, and since originally planting we would have had 2 or 3 crops in there now. The insect that we're going to be talking about today is leeches. It's not the kind of leech necessarily in the watercress beds you'd expect. These aren't sort of the blood-sucking leeches. They're leeches that predate on little insects or actually even feed on some vegetation. So what we're going to do today is just give you a little bit of an understanding of the watercress bed leeches, and then possibly go on to look at some other leeches that are found within Dorset. The last one being the most interesting, which is the medicinal leech, and if we're lucky we may actually do some feeding and we'll see some leeches actually feeding on myself.
Hello there.
How are you getting on?
Good, we've found some small leeches.
Excellent. So I was just explaining that generally they're feeding off obviously vegetative matter or other insects within the bed.
Yes, that's right. I mean, they're quite predatory, but they obviously have got a limited mouth size.
Yeah.
So this little guy here is a very common leech called Erpobdella octuulata.
Right.
Rather shorter, fatter or wider leech called Glossophonia.
Okay.
Glossophonia complanata.
Right.
And it's, if you see, it's much wider, much shorter.
Yep.
It tends to walk in a similar way, but looks different because it's shorter.
Yeah, certainly not as extended or as long. It's staying very, very plump-like, isn't it? All found one.
Oh, there's another one. Yes.
There's another. Right, here we go.
What's that?
Got the eye. That's a beautiful one.
Ah.
That one. Look at the colours.
It really is.
Oh my word! This is the most exciting thing I've done in a long time.
Great.
It's so cool. That's properly green, that one. So those are the ripples that they're picking up. So effectively,
Yes.
the ripples that are communicating to the sides or the skin of the leech.
Yes, they have a set of organs a bit like the lateral line of a fish that detects these vibrations.
Yeah.
The problem is with this mass of lily growth, it does tend to dampen the vibrations quite significantly. I mean, they're just about getting through.
Yeah, you can see that. Yeah, there's some good vibrations there.
They often circle around
Do they?
in order to help them find the source of the vibrations. So it may well come around again.
There it is. Massive. Absolutely huge one down here.
Okay.
There it is.
Oh no, that's a nice, lightly spotted one underneath.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah.
There we are.
Got a Natural England medicinal leech licence because they are protected species, and they are in decline across the country. So although they're formerly widespread, they're occurring in far fewer ponds these days than they used to.
And we don't know why they're actually here in this location, but it could be part of being released over the years after use.
Well, because they were used medicinally more in the sort of 18th century and before, then they were presumably discarded after use into just the local ditch or pond. So it's not clear whether they are actually native or whether they have been introduced from Europe, because many thousands, hundreds of thousands even, were imported from France. And the continent for medicinal use.
Yeah.
And presumably that has at least augmented our population, if not formed the whole of our population.
When they go for their feed, they produce something called hirudin, is it?
Yeah, they produce a mix of chemicals which help them anaesthetise the wound, and also an anticoagulant which allows the blood to flow. And I think there's a third chemical, I'm not quite sure what that's used for.
Yeah, because the trick is they've got to feed without being noticed.
So they don't want to cause pain because that's going to attract attention. So normally, the first thing people know that they've been bitten is that they've got perhaps blood running down their leg after the leech has dropped off and finished feeding.
Underneath my elbow. But you see the shape they've taken on the feeding. See how they've gone into that like horseshoe kind of shape?
Yeah.
That's atypical, because what they're doing there is they're making sure that they're anchored.
Okay.
So they do the horseshoe. This one on my finger's going to go for it in a sec. You wouldn't do that? No.
Was that one plugged in?
Yeah. I sort of feel, if you're getting involved, it's not a bad thing.
Oh yes, look, that one does too.
So we did promising food.
Yeah, well, this is it. If you tracked leeches over, the least you can do is give them what they came for. So they've got 3 sets of teeth, and they'll rasp on the location to open it up, and then they're obviously, using the Hiridin to anticoagulate, and then the anaesthetic. You can't really do anything about taking them off. It's not good to.
Another one down that side as well. I didn't realise that.
Oh yeah, this one here.
So she's got 6.
Yeah.
So you've still got the one on the underside of your arm.
No, that one came off
that
right at the beginning. Oops,
Oh
there
no,
we go.
it's still there. Still there. Oh, that's
yeah,
two
that
gone.
one. There we go.
3. So we've just got 2 left.
Yeah.
It looks like that one on the underside is ready to go because it's just hanging there limply, isn't it?
Yeah, quite.
Detached. So you've got wounds to prove that you've sacrificed yourself.
But the best thing to do is just to leave that now.
Yes.
And not to start rubbing it, and because it's got a nice natural seal. Yeah, there's a bit of blood there. So we're going to let this one finish its feed, and then we're going to return all of them safely back into the pond, and they'll go for a full winter. Thanks, bye bye.